Hey guys, Coach Travis Macy here, coming in from Evergreen, Colorado. Man, what a great Colorado day. I love the sun shining on the snow. If I was to say probably the top two training concepts or habits, especially regarded to the physical training for running or really any endurance sport, the first one is consistency. And the second one that I want to focus on here briefly is specificity. And specificity, especially as you get closer and closer to any given race, let's say the final 10 weeks to the race and then becoming increasingly more important, that specificity just really is the key. And my advice is to think about what is your goal coming up. It could be a race, maybe it's a through hike, maybe it's just, some long run or FKT or adventure you want to do. Think about what that's going to require, and that's physically, that's mentally, it's gear-wise. In some cases, for something more complicated, it's logistically, and honing in on those elements is really important. If you think about, let's say, a ski race, like I'm doing the Grand Traverse coming up, that's a ski mountaineering race that, compared to many of the other races that we do throughout the year, has a lot more gradual terrain. And I've actually found if you're doing all your training on super steep terrain where you're getting in, a lot of vertical per mile, you're actually not preparing for that specificity of doing flatter terrain, whether that's a Nordic style movement where you're trying to get some more glide or maybe even skating. So that's really important. Let's say maybe we'll look at a couple running races. Maybe you're thinking about hard rock. Well, look at how many vertical feet per mile are you doing for hard rock, and particularly in your long runs, try to hit that vertical feet per mile. And then if you can, also throughout the week, see if you can average that vertical feet per mile. That would be similar maybe for a race like Leadville. It's going to be a lot less climbing per mile, and the specificity with a race like the Leadville 100 is kind of unique because you got to be ready to do some significant climbs and descents at altitude, so you want that to be part of your training. But then also, one thing sometimes people overlook for Leadville is there's a lot of relatively flat running there. And I know that's something a friend of mine, Luke J., part of the Suffer Better community, when he finished third at Leadville a few years ago, I know a big piece of his training was doing long runs on the flats, even like out by Chatfield Reservoir near where he lives. So specificity, don't forget about it. Hey guys, have fun out there. I hope you're enjoying the winter too.